Good morning. The music you have just heard invites us to arrive, to settle body and spirit, and to prepare for this time of worship. As an act of care for those gathered here and those joining us online, please silence your devices, because I've forgotten to and it was terribly embarrassing, so that we may share this time in presence and connection. If you are visiting today, you are invited to fill out a card from the seat back and return it at the welcome table or in the offering plate, so we may extend our welcome to you. Please know that whoever you are, wherever you are from, whomever you love, wherever you are on life's journey, you are welcome here. Good morning.
Good morning.
Ooh, I like that. Good morning.
Good morning.
That is wonderful. Welcome to San Gabriel Unitarian Universalist Fellowship. Whether you are here in this sanctuary or joining us online, whether for the first time or the thousandth, we are glad you are here. My name is Beth Gehrman. My pronouns are she, her, and I am honored to serve as your lay leader this morning. It is delightful to see all of you here this morning. Sometimes on Sunday getting up can be hard, but coming to this makes it much, much easier. San Gabriel is a part of a larger movement of Unitarian Universalist congregations working together for a just, peaceful, and sustainable world. And here in this community, we begin that work by sustaining one another in love.
Good morning. I'm Eric Hepburn. My pronouns are he, him. I am honored to serve as your worship leader and pulpiteer this morning. Together we'll enter a time of word and silence, of song and spirit, as we shape this time of worship together. Please recite after me the words to light our chalice. We light this flame to remind us. Love is the center. As we grow and connect, mature and deepen, love is our center. When the light of truth burns all else away. Love endures. Our calling in song this morning is We Would Be One, number 318 in the gray hymnal. Please rise in body or spirit as you're able, and let us lift our voices together. For we are here, we are awake, and we are one community. The Wonder Box reminds us that wisdom often comes in small packages, and that curiosity is a sacred gift at every age. Candace White, our Director of Religious Exploration, will now share this time of learning and wonder with us.
Good morning. It's March, and in March, our theme in RE is paying attention. Every Sunday, we open up our Wonder Box to find out how specifically we're going to explore the theme today in RE, so let's see what's inside. It's heavy today, y'all. Some stuffies. And you know what these are? Band-Aids? Interesting. What do stuffies and Band-Aids have to do with paying attention? You have an idea? What is it? That is exactly right. You pay attention to people when they get hurt so we can help them. Let's pretend like they are on the playground. They're playing, and oh no. They have all fallen down. Okay? So I'm going to pay attention to each one, and each one is going to tell me what's wrong. Okay? I fell off and I hit my elbow on the ground. Oh, I'm so sorry that happened. I'm going to put a Band-Aid right here. I hit my head. Oh, I'm so sorry that happened. I'm going to put a Band-Aid right here. I scraped my knee. It really hurts. I'm so sorry. Let me put a Band-Aid right here. I twisted my ankle. Oh my goodness. I'm so sorry that happened. I'm going to put a Band-Aid right here. What do you notice? I paid attention to everybody. I gave them all a Band-Aid. What do you notice? What? They're feeling happy and loved because I paid attention to them. Where did I put the Band-Aids? Everybody got a Band-Aid on their hand. Everybody got the same help. Is that helpful? If somebody scratched their knee and I put a Band-Aid on their hand, did it help them? I paid attention that they were hurt, but I didn't pay close attention to what was hurting them, right? Equality means everybody gets the same thing. I treated them all equally. I gave them all a Band-Aid right on their hand, and that's equality. But why does everybody get the same thing? If they didn't all get hurt the same way. Equity means everybody gets what they need to heal, to learn, or succeed. So we're going to focus today on paying attention to being equitable so that everybody has what they need. So may your song be our blessing as we move to the little house to explore more.
Sometimes we watch a little one who's been unwilling to go out just get up and walk out. And that is a heartwarming moment. Our hearts hold both joy and sorrow. Spoken here, they become healing medicine. If you wish to share, raise your hand, begin with your name, and hold the microphone so your voice flows into it. A brief word spoken with care can be enough medicine for us all. Thank you for sharing. For all that remains unspoken, this community holds you in love. We now pause to honor the great world house of which we are a part, lifting up the needs, the hopes, and the voices beyond these doors. For Women's History Month, I'm doing a 3-part sermon series on Simone Weil. And so I thought I would share with you, as our great world house today, some of her biography so you can know from whence these words and ideas came. Simone Weil was born in 1909. She died in 1943. She was a French philosopher, a mystic, and a political activist whose life produced one of the 20th century's most searingly original bodies of thought. Trained at École Normale Supérieure under Alain, she graduated first in her class the same year Simone de Beauvoir graduated second. A fact that delighted her and surprised no one who knew her. She was not content to philosophize from a distance. She worked factory floors to understand industrial labor from the inside, fought briefly in the Spanish Civil War, and organized solidarity efforts for French workers during the Depression. Her thinking moved restlessly across philosophy, mathematics, Greek literature, Hindu scripture, and Christian mysticism without settling comfortably in any tradition. She was drawn powerfully toward Catholicism, but refused baptism, believing her place was to remain at the threshold, in solidarity with those outside. Never heard of a Catholic bodhisattva before. What a blessing. That posture of remaining at the margins, of refusing the comfort of belonging in order to stay present to suffering, runs through everything she wrote. Her most enduring works, The Need for Roots, Waiting for God, and the posthumously assembled Gravity and Grace, grapple with affliction, attention, obligation, and the nature of justice with an unsparing rigor that has made her essential reading for theologians, political theorists, and philosophers alike. She died in 1943 at the age of 34 in a sanatorium in England, having refused to eat more than the ration allotted to occupied French civilians. Even her death was an act of witness. One of the ways that we here in this congregation are celebrating Women's History Month is by centering women composers and performers in our Songs of Yearning and offertory selections. We hope you'll find some new artists to add to your repertoire, although the one that we're doing next will probably not be new to any of you. Our Song of Yearning is Mississippi Goddamn, performed by Nina Simone. As we listen, let this music transmute our justified heartbreak and rage into a willingness and a yearning to make different choices.
Mississippi Goddamn is our last tune. We had some request for it. Alabama's got me so upset. Tennessee made me lose my rest. And everybody knows about Mississippi Goddamn. Alabama's got me so upset. Tennessee made me lose my rest. Everybody knows about Mississippi. Goddamn, can't you see it? I know you can feel it. It's all in the air. I can't stand the pressure much longer. Somebody say a prayer. Alabama's got me so upset, and Governor Wallace has made me lose my rest. Everybody knows about Mississippi. Goddamn. Hound dogs on my trail. School children sitting in jail. Black cat crossed my path. I think every day's gonna be my last. Lord have mercy on the land of mine. We all gonna get it in due time. I don't belong here, I don't belong there. I've even stopped believing in prayer. Don't tell me, I'll tell you. Me and my people just about do. I've been there, so I know they keep on saying go slow. That's just the trouble. Too slow. Washing the windows. Too slow. Picking the cotton. Too slow. We're just plain rotten. Too slow. We're too damn lazy. Too slow. Our thinking's crazy. Too slow. Where am I going? What am I doing? I don't know. Just try to do my very best. Stand up, be counted with all the rest. Everybody knows about Mississippi. Goddamn. Picket lines, school boycotts. They try to say it's a communist plot. All I want is equality for my sister, my brother, my people, and me. You lied to me all these years. You told me to wash and clean my ears and talk real fine just like a lady, and you'd stop calling me Sister Sadie. But my country is full of lies. We all gonna die and die like flies. I don't trust nobody anymore. They keep on saying go slow. That's just the trouble. Too slow. Desegregation. Too slow. Mass participation. Too slow. Unification. Too slow. Do things gradually. Too slow. Will bring more tragedy. Too slow. Why don't you see it? Why don't you feel it? I don't know. You don't have to live next to me. Just give me my equality. 'Cause everybody knows about Alabama. Everybody knows about Mississippi. Everybody knows about Mississippi. Goddamn. That's it.
My. Let us enter a still place within, opening our hearts and minds to receive this voice of wisdom. After the words are spoken, we will breathe together in silence, preparing ourselves for the word unfolding among us. Together we listen for wisdom in the words of Simone Weil. The notion of obligations comes before that of rights, which is subordinate and relative to the former. Thank you.
This is the short version.
Oh, you're so good. I like short versions.
Now I'm going to share something important. So I got a text from Beth on Tuesday of this week, and she said, "This reading is incomprehensible." That's subtext. That's subtext. And she felt, I think, chagrined because she thought, well, surely he knows what he's doing. But I didn't.
I thought it was really stupid.
Yeah, it was bad. It was bad.
More than I am.
Unfortunately, the version that's on her printed page and the version that I changed are not the same. So I gave her a much more readable version that I hope lands for y'all. But I had to step up here and rescue her from reading the one that she specifically tried to escape. And thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for letting me know that I had missed the mark.
Oh my. Okay, let's start over. Okay. We know how Dr. King defined beloved community.
No.
Simone? Oh, jeez.
Just that. It's okay. I already said goddamn from the pulpit. Twice. 3 times this morning. We're in good stead.
Okay, shall we start here?
Yeah, right there.
Good. Obligations. Are we together now? Obligations. Thank you. Come before rights. A right is not effectual by itself, but only in relation to the obligation to which it corresponds. Recognition of an obligation makes it effectual. An obligation which goes unrecognized by anybody loses none of the full force of its existence. A right which goes unrecognized by anybody is not worth very much. Let's take time to breathe together.
Obligations come before rights. A right is not effectual by itself, but only in relation to the obligation to which it corresponds. Recognition of an obligation makes it effectual. An obligation which goes unrecognized by anybody loses none of the full force of its existence. A right which goes unrecognized by anybody is not worth very much. Now remember that Simone was a French philosopher. Her job was not to create easily digestible pulpit-worthy things, but to be precise in her use of language in a way that hopefully produces deeper clarity. So let's try and unpack this philosophical stance into something that resonates with us and how we want to build community with one another. So we're familiar with how Dr. King defined beloved community. Simone Weil would define it this way: beloved community is not where everyone gets their rights. It is where everyone has taken up their obligations. Let me say that again. Beloved community is not where everyone gets their rights. It's where everyone has taken up the mantle and burden of their obligations. We are living in a rights-saturated argument culture. Everyone asserting and few asking what grounds the assertion of those rights. Mississippi Goddamn is a rights song, but Nina knew something deeper was wrong than the rights being denied. And that is Simone Weil's contribution, that it was the obligations that produced the space for the rights that was unfulfilled. I have a right not to go hungry as a child. Okay, cool. But all you're saying is, I don't think we should live in a world where children go hungry. Somebody in the community has to say, I will go till the land. And somebody else has to harvest the food from the land. And somebody else has to prepare it and put it on that child's plate, or they don't eat. No matter what you think about how the world should be. If no one accepts the mantle of obligation, the right is empty rhetoric about how you wish things were. Is this resonating for folks? All right, nod at me a little bit. I won't make you amen me. Rights are not self-executing. They live or die in the moral imagination of a community, in the day-to-day actions of that community, its people, its institutions, its culture. I have a right to protest. Okay? What does that mean? So I'm going to go walk in the street. I've got my sign. I'm going to raise my voice. My right to not get arrested is only as good as law enforcement's obligation not to arrest me if I didn't break the rules. My right to write what I want on the sign is only as good as someone else's restraint that their disagreement doesn't result in them deciding to kill me for writing words that they don't agree with. Do you see what the picture I'm trying to paint here? There's a difference between this idea of rights, and we want to talk in our culture about rights without talking about the responsibilities and the obligations that produce the space for those rights. And so I think Simone Weil is deeply right that we're just like not happy. So we keep trying to put the cart in front of the horse, and then we wonder why it gets stuck. And it gets stuck because our narrative about freedom makes us obligation allergic. Our narratives about freedom and rights make us allergic to the obligations that are the real ground of those things. We like our freedom abstract. We like our freedom idealistically unrestrained and uncontained, unlimited. We like our freedoms unlimited. It is very uncomfortable for us to acknowledge that our freedoms can only exist in containers made by the careful holding of our fellow people. I think it's worth at this moment distinguishing two words from each other. They're words that often get used in an overlapping way, but having a discrete definition for each of them helps us see the truth of the matter. I think it's most useful to use the word fairness about the unfolding of things over which we do not have control. Anybody in here still under the illusion that life is fair? Okay, I don't see any hands going up. That's a good sign. We know that the universe doesn't unfold in fair ways. And to use a famous line from Monty Python, and that's nobody's fault, not even the Romans. It's nobody's fault, not even the Romans, that life isn't fair. Some people are born into different classes, different castes, different races, religions, moments in history. None of that is fair. Now let's use the other word that gets confused with fairness, the word justice. Justice is what we do in the face of life's unfairness. Do you hear me? Justice is what we do in the face of life's unfairness. Candace talked about equity, right? Justice is the manatee gets the Band-Aid on his injured ankle, not his hand. Right? Now, I couldn't see from back here, so I had no idea what was going on. Like, I had no idea that, like, all the animals were getting the Band-Aid in the same place. I was like, I don't know what she's going after. But then she said it, and I was like, oh, I get it now. I see the bit. I see the bit unfolding. It didn't work from backstage. But you guys get what we're talking about here, right? Like, you actually have to show up and listen and be like, this is where your woundedness is. I'm going to accept obligation as a member of your community to hold space for your healing because I love you. Now you have a right to heal. You didn't have a right to heal before somebody showed up and said, I will hold space for you. I will send my love to you. I will nurture you in this time where the world is hurting you. We produce that space for each other. The space is the freedom we want. The space is justice lived, justice enacted. The space is the world of rights that we yearn after. But it can't be an ethereal thing. It's not floating out there waiting for us to conceptualize it. It's growing up from the ground of all the little decisions we make every day. It's a garden. It's a garden that grows up from what we cultivate. That creates the space. And so we have to go and do our tilling, and we have to do our fertilizing, and we have to do our weeding in that garden of responsibility to produce the space. We want our kids to be out there playing and having a good time. So we have to start a stewardship campaign next month, and we have to raise a bunch of pledge money so we can hire RE staff, and we can pay the mortgage on this building, and we can have our programs to create the space for them to go do that. This isn't a stewardship campaign speech, but you get the idea, right? Like the right to go play on Sunday morning with under the watchful eyes of people who love you and want nothing but good things for you, in a space that's safe with some other friends who've shown up on that day. That right didn't materialize out of the ether. It happened when some people said, I'm willing to put my money and my mouth and my body and my love and my hands and my sweat into making that happen. That's where rights come from. Rights come from the tilling of the soil of obligation. But our narratives about freedom make us like, oh, how many times have you said about going to a friend's house or a family member's house, or, oh yeah, I don't really want to go, but I'm going out of obligation. That's how we think about obligation. Maybe you don't. Maybe that's just me. Well, I know it's not just me. I've had a lot of conversations with a lot of various human beings who resonate with this language, who's like, oh, yeah, I can't go do this thing that I want to do with you this weekend because I got a familial obligation. If your obligations are ground in which you plant resentment, that's what you're going to harvest. If your sense of obligation in your life is a place where you plant your resentments, you know what your harvest is going to be. And it's going to smell and taste like resentment, because that's what you planted. Now we could go, I've got a new phrase I'm developing. You guys can tell me if you like it. I see the rabbit hole. I'm going to walk around it, but I'm not going to fall in. Okay, so I'm not going to fall down this rabbit hole of talking about this whole familial obligation dynamic. That's like a 3-sermon series all on its own. But let me just say this. When you have that moment where you're like, I'm doing this out of an obligation, what you're really saying is that this obligation that I'm sensing isn't an obligation that's about other people's expectations other than my sense of what I want to cultivate. So I'm going to give you 2 choices, super easy. Ooh, I wanted to use an expletive just now. I'm going to not. You have to own your stuff. You own your stuff. Okay, I am choosing to go, and I'm going to go and be there because what I want to cultivate is a relationship with those people. Or I am not. There is nothing there that I either can cultivate or want to cultivate, and I'm going to make the other choice. And everybody, including me, gets to live with just the consequence of other people having unmet expectations. That happens. Some of y'all are going to have some unmet expectations this morning, no matter what I say. Like, it's okay. Like, you know, there's I won't call it a bell curve. Who knows what shape it is? But there's a shape of expectations out there among the room. And for some of you, what I say up here today will ding the little bell in your heart that needed to be rung this morning. You'll be like, oh, I'm so glad I went this morning. Others of you might leave here thinking, yeah, he just didn't do it for me today. Whatever. What are you going to do? It happens. Am I going to hit every heart in the room every day? I'm going to try. I'm going to try to till the soil of looking out there in the audience and feeling who's got a scraped elbow, who's got a bruised knee, and how can I lay out a buffet of spiritual work that lets you go pick up the thing that you need for what's on your heart today. I try to do that, imperfectly as it may be. I'm going to skip that, Simone. You're just way down the rabbit hole on that one. All right. Yeah, here we go. I'll do this one. I've been preaching a lot up here over the last, since the new year. I didn't pick it as a theme, but it emerged as one, that life is a gift and not an entitlement. So now I want to wrap in for you the idea that this message this morning about rights and obligations is just another petal on that plant, or another leaf on it, or a new stem, but not something different or separate from it. Let's see if we can make that work. If the space of rights emerges for others out of our acceptance of an obligation, then they are a gift we give one another. They are a gift. I gift you free playground time, young ones, by accepting the obligation of cultivating the work of maintaining this community. Not the fun parts, but the work part, the parts that are hard. I mean, it's not always that way. Play is a natural way of learning, and sometimes we get to show up here week after week, and most of it's fun, and that's pretty cool. But in any real community, conflict happens. Difficult times happen. Things in the outside world change. I saw it yesterday. I had 3 implosions in my life happen yesterday, and honestly, in my humble opinion, none of them happen if we weren't at war. Let me talk about what I mean by that. We all have a certain amount of bandwidth, emotional bandwidth, to deal with what's happening. And as the sea level out there in the general culture rises, and the anxiety level rises, and the likelihood of catastrophe rises, the amount of available bandwidth we have left to deal with the everyday trials and tribulations of being one-to-one human with one another, it just gets smaller. And so what we find is we find ourselves snapping at our loved ones or our partner, or having a fight that we probably wouldn't have had otherwise. And so it's kind of about that little thing that happened in this little relationship, but it's also happening because of this sea of shared experience and emotion that we all exist on. And that sea of shared emotion and experience that we all exist on, some people call that God. And some people call it community. And some people call it Gaia, or the life force. But its resonance patterns in our life are real and observable, and that's why all the civilizations and cultures and philosophers and mystics all talk about it. Because they're like, oh, maybe I ought not ignore this thing and pretend it's not happening. So, I think the deeper parallel that I'm trying to get to in this space between gift and entitlement and rights and obligations looks like this. I think I didn't write it clearly, so let me put my paper down and try one other way. If I show up to my awakening in the morning entitled, like, I deserve this day. This day is my birthright. That language, that tone of showing up is the rights entitled language. An entitled perspective says, I have rights but no obligations. That is entitlement. A gift perspective, on the other hand, shows up and says, I'm not owed anything, but I have been gifted. How may I gift in return? And how may I gift in return is the answer to the question of how you can have obligation that doesn't smell like resentment. The answer, what do I do with this gift of another beautiful day? And how do I share that beautiful day with other people that I love? That is an agreement to take the mantle of obligation and settle it on your shoulders and get about your day. How do I share this gift that I received due to no special deservedness on my part, just the gift of waking up another day and everything in the universe that had to happen so that that could happen for me mysteriously, magically unfolded. And here I am. I don't wake up like that most days. I wish I did. I'm working on it. I am trying to cultivate that. I know how much more generous I would be if that was my first thought upon waking every morning. I usually still start most days with a little bit of the alarm went off too early resentment. If life is a gift, it shifts us from a hoarding mentality to a generosity mentality. And out of generosity, we become willing to take on obligations to one another to create justice. Instead of worrying that we have to keep enough of it to ourselves so that our sense of entitlement gets to continue. If Simone Weil was defining beloved community, she would say, beloved community is not where everyone gets their rights. It's where everyone takes up their obligations. Amen.
Each week, we give an offering to sustain the spiritual home and to support the work of our fellowship. Today's offertory music is Both Sides Now, written and performed by Joni Mitchell. May our gifts and this music be blessings. The offering will now be gratefully received.
Roll
blues and blues of angel hands and ice cream castles in the air and feather cans everywhere. I've looked at clouds that way. But now they only block the sun, and they rain and they snow on everyone. So many things I would have done, but clouds got in my way. I've looked at clouds from both sides now, from up and down, and still somehow it's cloud illusions I recall. I really don't know clouds at all. Moons and Junes and Ferris wheels, the dizzy dancing way that you feel as every fairy tale comes real. I've looked at love that way. Oh, but now it's just another show. And you leave them laughing when you go. And if you care, don't let them know. Don't give yourself away. I've had love from both sides now, from give and take, and still somehow it's love's illusions that I recall. I really don't know love. I really don't know love at all. Tears and fears and feeling proud to say I love you right out loud. Dreams and schemes and circus crowds, I've looked at life that way. Oh, but now old friends, they're acting strange, and they shake their heads and they tell me that I've changed. Well, something's lost, but something's gained in living every day. And life from both sides now, from up and down and give and take and win and lose, still somehow it's life's illusions that I recall. I really don't know life at all.
And now we return to this beloved house where our covenant lives in the announcements and invitations we share. We will have our next new member orientation on Sunday, April 5th, and our next joining ceremony on Sunday, April 26th. Please see the membership table for more details. The next No Kings March in Georgetown will be on March 28th. Keep your eyes and ears open for meetups and participation in that. I will be teaching an adult RE class starting on Sunday, April 19th. The subject is Cultivating Wisdom. We'll meet for 4 weeks, probably between 9 a.m. and 10 a.m. In the fellowship house. We'll have a sign-up sheet at the membership table for that starting next week. Next week, we have a wonderful all-ages social justice service plan. It's the one that was postponed due to the ice storm. And then I'll be back for a final Simone Weil service. And the last week in March, we'll have Simone Barnes joining us in our pulpit again. And apologies, I didn't get this one into the messenger this week. Lark and Owl Booksellers, which is a Georgetown hub anchor and icon, is doing a fundraiser to support their continued existence as an independent bookseller, a carrier of banned books, a community gathering place. So if you are so inclined, there is a QR code on the back table by the door out to the patio. You can participate in their fundraising campaign. Also the QR code back there for our friend and family Layla, who's in California having epilepsy surgery. If you want to support that family, there's a QR code to give there as well. And that's the news from this beloved house.
We close with words of covenant, promises we make to one another and to the world. Let us share them together in unison reading. Love is the spirit of this community. Truth is our sacred quest. Justice is our prayer. We dwell together in peace. We seek wisdom in freedom. We serve life in fellowship. We grow in harmony with the sacred. Thus do we covenant with one another.
After today's sermon, I'm wondering where to sneak the word obligation in there. Okay, only I laughed. All right. Good. Note to self. Oh, that's fair. That's fair. Our returning song this morning is Blue Boat Home. It's number 1064 in the Teal hymnal. Please rise in body or spirit as you're able, and let us sing our way forward into the world, renewed, strengthened, and together. not just a blue boat home, but a gift.
We extinguish this flame to remind us love.
We extinguish this flame to remind us
Love is the center.
love is the center.
As we explore and rest,
As we explore and rest,
engage and heal,
engage and heal,
love is our center.
love is our center.
When only ashes remain,
When only ashes remain,
love endures.
love endures. I offer you this blessing. May your thoughts be wise. May your lips speak truth. May your heart be open to love. May your hands be ready for service. And may your life join the great work of beloved community. Amen. Ashe. Shalom. Blessed be.